Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/OhNoConsequences. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Cross-posted r/best of. This post was collected by Red Earaches. The original OP is Throw RA Crusher to r/advice March 10th, 2024. I, 25 male, have the chance to date my old high school crush, 25 female, but I'm engaged to my fiance, 24 male. What do I do? I don't know, bud. What do you do? I had a crush on this girl, Carla, since middle school, going into high school, but she never paid me no mind. I left for the military and met Sarah, who is a nurse and wants to become a doctor-nurse practitioner. Sarah was the usual type of girl I dated. I left the military to do contracting work and moved back to my home state. One day, while I was getting drinks at the bar, Carla was my bartender. She didn't recognize me, but when I told her my name, she couldn't believe it. She said she couldn't believe how much I changed. I started becoming a regular, and eventually exchanged contact information with her to catch up. Throughout this time, she told me she had a crush on me, even though she knows I have a fiancé. She said she likes how driven I am. Now I'm conflicted. She says that she'll give me time to think about what I want to do. My fiancé and I are doing great, but I feel like she's normally the type of woman I always get. Carla, I never had the opportunity, or thought I would. I don't want to hurt Sarah, but I feel like I would regret this forever if I don't pursue it. Commenters are telling OP to dump Sarah because she deserves better than a cheater like himself, and that he's going to regret his flighty decision in the long run. Update, April 2nd, 2024. Roughly 23 days later. I broke her heart. I love Sarah so much, and I stupidly called out the wedding to be with my old crush a few weeks ago. Throughout the couple weeks, Carla used me as a piggy bank. That's all I fucking was to her. I spoiled her, paid for her hair, nails, etc. I gave her everything. I found out she used the money I Zelled her to buy a ticket for some guy to come see her. I'm sick to my stomach. I reached out to Sarah, but she feels betrayed and said she doesn't want to be a sloppy seconds, but she's not. I love her and needed this to realize it. Hey, wait a minute, bud. I thought Sarah was the type of girl you always get. I thought that she was easy for you. How'd you put it again? Oh yeah, the type of woman you always get. So surely it'd be really easy to find another one, right? Because Clara's a once-in-a-lifetime catch after all. Clearly. I'm pretty sure we all know that Clara is the type of person that just wanted to see if she could. Like, she didn't actually care about OP, she just didn't like the idea that someone who used to have it out for her and really be interested that she previously wasn't interested in could now be happy without her. So she just wanted to make sure. Good for Sarah for walking away from you, because yeah, she does deserve better, dude. Your middle school crush literally fluttered her eyelashes at you and you fucking buckled. And now you're running back to Sarah after it didn't work out because she was actually after another guy and using you? Wait, is it Sarah or Sarah? Have I been reading it wrong this entire time? Like, I know Sarah usually has an H in it, but like, I kind of just jumped the... fuck. I'm not re-recording that if I got it wrong. Hold on, I'm gonna Google it real quick. God fucking damn it. Well, in American English, apparently it is Sarah, so at least I've got that aspect of me. Not that that's anything to be proud of. Cross-posted from r/illegal advice. My ex proposed. I said no. He is now talking about suing me. Advice? Just want to say this is going to sound insane, but I'm not trolling/making it up. Me and this guy were together for 3 years. We're 19 now. We never talked about the future until a year in. Before then, I'd try to discuss it, and he would change the subject. In short, I wanted kids. He didn't. I wanted to stay in Ireland. He didn't. I wanted to get married. He didn't. When I realized it was a bad match, I broke it off. But he asked to get back together, saying we were too young to worry about the future, and we got back together. This happened a few times over the next 18 months. In this time, we probably spent more time apart than together. We knew early on that we wanted different things, and while marriage and kids are something I would want further down the line, I wasn't concerned about his open dislike of marriage and kids because 19 is too young to get married anyway. If I were dating him 10 or 15 years from now and he didn't want to get married, then I might have an issue. But when I'm barely out of my teens, it's not a huge concern, and just loving him and wanting to be with him is enough. When I went to see him this time, I was again considering breaking up with him. Aside from the long-term issues, he is also inconsiderate and has a mean streak that I really don't like. So when I arrived at his place mentally debating breaking up with him for good this time, and he told me he wanted to take me out to dinner, I assumed he wanted to break up too, publicly, so I wouldn't cause a scene. I don't normally cause a scene, but being in public tends to prevent yelling, and we both yell every time we break up. In the last year, he's asked me 2 things that, looking back, now stand out to me. First, he asked about jewelry, what kind of stuff I liked, and what my taste was. I assumed it was because my birthday was coming up and he was getting me a bracelet or something, so I told him, simple and delicate, silver or steel rather than gold. If there was a color, then blue. Nothing flashy or expensive, as both my job prefers plain jewelry and it's just my personal preference. I also said, go cheap. The other thing he asked me was how I felt about public proposals. I told him immediately that I, personally, disliked them, as I felt I wouldn't be able to say no, even if I wanted to. I feel like public proposals are okay when they've been specifically requested and agreed on, but one that's totally out of the blue is not okay at all. I assumed he was asking about this because his friend had just proposed to his girlfriend of several years publicly, and she'd accepted, but admitted to him after that she would have preferred something private. I never thought in a million years that he would propose, so you can imagine my shock when we went to dinner and the first thing he did was propose. The ring was huge, gold, gaudy, red gems around a diamond, and the whole thing was the size and shape of a Super Bowl ring. He got on one knee and held it out to me. We were in the middle of this popular restaurant and the place was packed. Everyone there could see what was going on and wasn't even trying to hide that they were looking at us. I said no. Well, I didn't so much say no. I ran out of the restaurant. He drove me there, so I got a cab back and drove home that night. I realized running out wasn't the best thing to do, but I didn't know what else to do. I could feel everyone's eyes on me, and all I knew was that I didn't want to marry him or accept his proposal. I felt like I couldn't speak. I was so upset about the whole thing. So I just got up and ran. I just want to take the opportunity to say here that I really don't care about the rings. Honestly, when I want to get married, which is absolutely not when I'm 19 years old, the right person could just turn to me and say, "Hey, want to get married?" And I'd say yes. I wouldn't even need a ring. I know I'm focusing on the ring and the public proposal a lot, but that's only because, 1, how far away it was from what I told him my taste was, and 2, what happened next. I didn't hear from him until a few weeks later. He said that he thought a proposal was something I'd want. But he saw now that it wasn't. He said that he was out of pocket for the rings. He'd bought us both the same one and gotten them engraved. He linked me to the jeweler's website, and the ring was up for 1,450 euros, and at the time of posting this, about $1,650 or 1,300 pounds. When I asked why he was telling me this, he said that he'd hoped I would cover the cost of mine. He said that as they'd been engraved, he couldn't get a refund. He'd hoped that I would say yes to the proposal, in which case he wouldn't have asked me to pay. But I said no. He also said I'd embarrassed him by saying no in public, and should have said yes, and if I was really against it, waited to say no when we were alone. We both live in small towns where gossip spreads at church. Enough people were at the restaurant that night that both of us got asked about it at church on Sunday. He has since messaged me saying he's debating calling in a lawyer to sue me for the cost of my ring, $14.50 in euros. And he also says that I have caused him emotional distress by turning him down in public, and have publicly humiliated him for both rejecting his proposal in public and leaving him to deal with church gossip, which I had no part in spreading. He says he can also get some money off me over those other two things. So, 1,450 euros for what he spent on my ring, and extra money for emotional distress and public humiliation. I think his legal claims are all bullshit, and he wouldn't have a leg to stand on in a court of law. But I am not a law student or a lawyer. He is studying law currently and has an internship at a legal firm. What do I do about all this? Do I need to prepare myself for a lawsuit, or is this not even worth worrying about? Thanks in advance. Edit, he knew I wanted to get married, but not to him. He not only knew this, but said he had no intention of marrying me either. He openly despised marriage right up until the time he proposed, and he knows that we want different things out of marriage. And I told him that this was why I was breaking up with him the times before this, that I have ended the relationship. During the course of our relationship, he's also said stuff like, "We're still too young to think about marriage. It's not like we're getting married." And my favorite, "It's not like I'm gonna propose." That one was last April. Edit 2. His mother has reached out to me apologizing for her son's actions. She has said that nothing will come of this and that she raised an idiot. With that final edit there, I'm pretty much in the boat where he probably bragged to his mother or tried explaining the situation to his mom, and she just promptly snapped back with, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he probably got a pretty rude awakening. Like, Buddy literally did the two things that she told him not to do. The public proposal, and impressively, somehow the exact opposite of the aesthetic of jewelry that she had asked for. Silver, blue, and low profile. Okay. Gold with red gems and a big diamond. Could you, imagine, though, if we did live in a world, though, where if you rejected your boyfriend's, marriage proposal, he could then sue you? I'm pretty sure that Circle of Hell was written about in Dante's Inferno. Cross-posted from r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for giving my stepson a 20-minute time limit to return my car before I phone the police? This happened last night, and I am extremely annoyed. Edits at the bottom. I'm a 34 female doctor, and part of my job entails being on call for 1 to 3 nights a week, twice a month. My fiancé, Dale, 30 male, has been saving with my stepson's mom to buy him a car for Christmas. My stepson Rex, 16 male, has a license already, but always has to borrow his mom's station wagon or his dad's beat-up pickup truck. His mom's car is lame and embarrassing, and his dad's can only hold 1 passenger. Not practical for a teen. On to the main conflict. Rex texted me yesterday around 12 if he could borrow my car after school. His friends wanted to go to the mall, but the bus route is too long. Could they borrow my car? I texted back, sorry, but no. I'm on call again. Can you ask your mom? He says no. I told him sorry, but my answer is still no. I'm sure you will find a solution. Ask your friends and you can all figure it out. If you see where this is going, you're less shocked than I am. I was up in my home office, the room where I keep my Switch, sewing machine, and laptop, so not an office, when I heard Rex and his friends downstairs after school. I was going to see if they needed anything, but they left after a few minutes. An hour later, I went to the kitchen, cleaning up the empty bottles and wrappers from their snacks, and I saw the spot where I left my keys. Empty. I began to panic. First, I bolted to the door. My car was gone. Immediately, dialed my stepson. He picks up, and it's obvious he's in a mall store that plays loud music. I told him to get his ass home now, and he laughed and said that I'm not his mom. He'll be home whenever he pleases. I'm not proud, but I told him he has 20 minutes to get home, or I call the police and report it stolen. Rex panics and said he couldn't find all his friends and drive home in 20 minutes. Told him, tough shit. 10 minutes later, I get a text that he's in the mall parking lot and will be home soon. I phoned Rex's mom and informed her of his stunt. She was madder than me when I told her that I was on call. She apologized and promised to talk with Rex and Dale ASAP. Rex came in, threw me my keys, and locked himself in his room. Dale finally came home around 8 and said he had been on the phone with his ex. He demanded to know why I punished his son. I put my foot down and explained, I am on call. That means I need my car. Rex stole my car. Dale disagrees. His ex agrees with me and decided she will not be buying Rex a car anytime soon due to his entitlement. Dale thinks that I'm making a big deal out of nothing. I didn't end up going into work, so why did I have to threaten Rex? I have only gone in twice this year while on call. Just because nothing happens doesn't mean that I'm always clear. Rex is now grounded. Fiancé barely speaks to me. Asks me when I'm going in today. I'm not, and if I will apologize. I'm not budging, and I'm still pissed he doesn't get it. Am I the asshole? Editing because it came up in the comments Dale is 30, not 29, but yes, he was 14 when Rex was born. Don't get hung up on this, it isn't about teen parents. Rex's mom was 15 when they had him, and is the best mom if you ask me. She's who introduced me to Dale. Edit 2. Now I can see why my friend told me this sub can be a little much. I'm very thankful for these responses, but I think I'm gonna leave the comments now and have a very frank discussion with Dale tonight. Rex is with his mom, so he won't be in the middle or get involved. Kid still wouldn't look at me and called me a bitch who won't let him get his own car now. Update in the comments. So apparently Dale reads through the subreddit on his work breaks. He texted me a link to my post during his dinner break. A short time later, I first received a call from Rex's mom, who said that Dale called her and ranted about how I made him look bad online. She told him that she didn't give a fuck because he did not react the way a good parent should. Dale was so furious that he told her that he would be calling his mother to see if someone actually cared about his feelings. Dale's mother handed his ass back to him. Good. And reiterated to Dale that he was not an active part in his son's life until he was 6, so he has no leg to stand on. Dale tried to bitch about how everyone was being unfair to him. She shut him up and told him that his son did something wrong, and this is not about punishing him for being a bad father. Dale returned home a little while ago, about an hour earlier than he usually does. He looked defeated, but he was still short with me. Said he was disappointed that I posted, and now everyone who knows will think he's a joke and a bad father. I didn't think this conversation would end up with my ending of the engagement and relationship, but it did. The house is all in my name, so Dale is packing up his shit and crawling back to his mom's house. The wedding wasn't set, so no money or time lost there. Dale said so many things that I don't even want to write down. This is not the man who I have known for 4 years, and I am honestly shocked at how selfish he is. He said my doctor money would have to buy Rex a car to make up for all the hard feelings. I'm astonished at how delusional he is. I'm done with this account and will not be returning. Edit to add that also, the fact that he wasn't in Rex's life till age 6 was a huge red flag to me. He never mentioned it and refused to admit it was a big deal during the argument we had when he came home. Gosh, you embarrassed me and make me look like a bad father. No, dude, you did that to yourself. You actively chose to side with your son who literally stole your fiance's car while she was on call. That could have made her lose her job and potentially, because she's a fucking doctor, put lives on the line. Like, dude, how did you fuck up so badly that your ex and your fiance and your mother are all on the same side against you? Like, buddy, like, how do you end up with all 3 important women of your life, your mom, your fiance, and the mother of your child, all telling you fucked up in your responses? You know, you should really just pay for my son's car to make up for this. Like, the thing is like, this is no longer even about Rex. Like, he did some stupid teenager shit, but like, you somehow tripled and quadrupled down on his actions and made this about you. Like, damn, bro. Okay. Cross posted from r/petty revenge. Karen complains to HR about my body. I reverse her complaint. Everyone hates her. Disclaimer, this was about 7 years ago, so the conversations are summarized and not 100% word for word. I used to work in a call center where everyone had little cubicles. You could chat with people on either side or behind you if things got slow, but anyone on the other side of the divider was sort of hard to see or chat with. Only important because Karen was in this hard-to-see location from me. I have issues with overheating, medical stuff. I like to sit right under the AC vent. Nobody fought me for this because it was a little too cold for most people. Well, being a woman, this meant that sometimes I had some nipple pokey issues on some days. It's perfectly natural, and to most people, not noticeable because it was under my shirt plus bra. Karen notices this and makes a report to HR. HR woman and my direct supervisor parade me through the cubicles and into their office to question me about my nipples. Now, I could have thrown a fit about this to begin with, since we didn't actually have a dress code and it's none of their damn business. They asked me to prove I was wearing a bra, so I showed them the straps. They told me, "Good enough," basically, and to get back to my desk. I refused to go back. I said I needed to place a complaint about someone. They asked me who I was reporting. I said, "I don't know, but you do. I want to report whoever it was that's been staring at my breasts all day." Now that I know someone is staring, I feel like this is a hostile work environment. They acted like I was joking at first, until I said, "If you don't have a talk with them, I will go over your heads and report you for forcing me to reveal my bra to you." I got escorted back to my desk and Karen was sitting there, looking smug, until they escorted her to the HR office instead. I don't know what happened to her in the office, but I didn't care. They did their part by having their talk with her. All I really wanted was to know who did it. Since it was a very slow day, all my coworkers started asking me what that was all about. Office gossip, you know. I told everyone exactly what had happened, and added that Karen must be fascinated with my breasts since she noticed. Everyone else confirmed they didn't even notice. When she came back from HR, every person in the room knew what she had done, and was glaring at her. Snitches don't get stitches, and didn't get fired either, but they got treated like the Karen they were. Nobody would talk to her. People would be chatting, see her come try to join the conversation, and go silent and turn away from her. Some people did loud whispers and made comments like, "Shh, don't say anything. She'll report you." She quit about 2 weeks later. Edit. Wow, this is the most notifications I have ever logged into. Thank you for awards and replies. For those saying I should sue, this was about 7 years ago. The company no longer exists. I didn't sue them back then because the company was pretty new and they were new to their positions like the rest of us, and in their 20s. They seemed like they were not trained on how to handle this, awkward and confused. I didn't want to ruin their lives over it. I don't think they'd ever do it again. For those saying she was jealous, I have no idea what she could have been jealous of. I was almost 40, gaining weight fast for my disability, and I'd say 4 out of 10. All I can think of is maybe she was jealous I was giggling with coworkers while trying to quietly play Cards Against Humanity. Gotta love how upper management's gears just started churning once they realized that, oh shit, because of this HR complaint, yeah, we're complicit in sexual harassment because someone was staring at someone's breasts and made a report based off of that. And then we just asked that employee to prove the sexual harassment wrong by having them show us her bra. We are in a lot of trouble if we don't do something about this, and the fastest thing we can do is drag the person in and pretty much deal with them to try to make this person happy, so that way they don't flip the script on us and send us into legal hell. It would have been really nice to just experience the sheer panic they probably felt in that moment once they realized, after OP told them, "Hey, do you realize you just asked an employee to show you their bra?" Honestly, regardless if I even did or not, if that sentence or statement was ever uttered towards me and directed at me, my life would probably flash before my eyes. Cross-posted to r/petty revenge. I got my coworker fired. In college, I worked at a restaurant with a guy we'll call Joe, not his real name. His fiancée also worked there. She was annoying, but not nearly as bad as Joe. Joe was a tool bag, but one day he made fun of a new host that had just been hired by calling him a ho-ho-ho. Wow. Damn, that's not just making fun of, that is... Oh, Jesus. By calling him an F-slur. When we were in the back of the kitchen rolling silverware, not near any customers. This wasn't the first time he said something like this, but it just set me over the edge that particular day. Customers would often leave their itemized receipts at the table when they leave. I noticed that there was one in Joe's section left by one of his customers. So I grabbed it and took it home with me. I used the receipt number to file a complaint on the corporate website and said that I was a customer, and I overheard my server Joe call another employee an F-slur. And I was really offended and made up a story about having a gay son and how I'd never visit there again. My best hope was that he'd get in trouble and get his schedule changed. He had one of the best server schedules. This was in 2010, by the way. I forgot all about it, and a few days later, I came in and his fiancée was crying hysterically and said, "Well, obviously I have to quit now too." I asked what was going on and found out that the company has a zero-tolerance policy for that, and he got fired immediately, and his fiancée quit. Joe was pissed and never denied it, but said he swore he said that in the back of the house, and not in the front of the guests, and swore he was kidding around. I couldn't believe I actually got him fired. So it turned out even better than I had hoped, and I still have no regrets. He was my friend on Facebook before this, and we're still friends to this day on Facebook, but never speak to each other, and he still doesn't know it was me. I mean, the buckaroo fired himself. All he really did was speed the process up. The logic of, well, I said the slur in the back of the house, and I was just kidding around when I said it, so it should be fine, is ludicrous, ridiculous. Joe was driving with a brick on the gas pedal and was surprised he ran into something. Like, I don't know what he was expecting. Honestly, my guess would be is Joe probably had quite the rap sheet, and this was probably just the final straw, and it was just the easiest way to knock him out of the park and call it good. Cross-posted from r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for not inviting my nephew to my son's birthday party? I know from the title there may be assumptions, but please hear me out. I, 28 female, and my husband, 30 male, are throwing a second birthday party for our son next week. I sent invitations out 2 weeks ago, and word got around to the family, and now my brother is furious with me, asking why his son didn't get an invitation. For some background, my nephew, who is 5, has been to multiple birthday parties and family events. However, his behavior is out of control. He destroys everything in his path and ruins special moments for others because he wants everything to be about him. He blows out other kids' birthday candles, opens up gifts meant for the honoree, and has a tantrum whenever you tell him no. He has ruined birthday parties for my nieces. One was his sister and the other was my sister's daughter. His classmates, friends, and blew out the candles last year at my son's birthday party. Our extended family and my brother's friends have now stopped inviting him and their whole family to their children's parties and gatherings. I've had enough of my brother and his wife allowing this behavior. After explaining to my brother why, he berated me for picking and bullying his son. He then went and ran to our mother, who then called me saying that he's just a child, and then tried to use turn the other cheek nonsense. I responded with, yes, a child that is being allowed to be disrespectful without any discipline or consequences. I also pointed out how they've stopped getting invited to other gatherings. Now my mother and my brother's family are threatening not to come at all. I told my brother and mother that they're free to make that decision, but I'm not allowing my nephew to ruin my son's or anyone else's special day. Out of all of this, I only feel bad for my niece, my brother's daughter. Will not be able to come as she is well behaved and a sweet child. It's a bit unfortunate how many people are being wrapped up in the consequences of this one because OP's brother is unwilling to be a parent to their child. I mean, the niece is being punished, the 2-year-old is being punished, though they probably won't remember most of it. The mother is being punished, and on top of all of that, OP is being punished by having people threatening to walk out for not letting an undisciplined child run amok of their 2-year-old's birthday party. But like the source of all of this is literally just the brother unwilling to tell a child no. And those consequences are already spreading well beyond the internal family birthday parties and being uninvited to those. Like, eventually the day is gonna have to happen where you're gonna have to explain to your son why he's not being invited to his friends' birthday parties. Because he's a menace. Blowing out candles, unwrapping other people's presents, throwing a tantrum when it's not about him. No one wants that kind of behavior at their kid's birthday party. And threatening not to attend is really only gonna get you so far when they already don't want you to attend. Honestly, it's actually kind of fucking wild the mother is willing to skip a 2-year-old's birthday party because they're willing to stand by the behavior of an unruly 5-year-old. But hey, that's on them. The baby won't remember it, and the mom won't either. It's mutual forgetfulness. I don't know what you want from me. The caffeine's running out. It's 2 a.m. This video's gotta go up soon, and I'm not gonna drink anymore because I want to actually get a good night's sleep. So you gotta do it the clever chemicals, not really showing up and doing their job. And that's not really anything new. That's pretty common for this channel. But still. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code OZ at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.